Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about the trap of conspiracy theories. Now, I mentioned before often that I'm not into conspiracy theories. I deal with facts. And if a fact points out that something is being hidden from the public, then that is the fact. Plain and simple. I'm not going to turn around it. If the facts show, obviously, that a dirty game is going on, then a dirty game is going on. Plain and simple. Don't turn around it. However, this whole focus on conspiracies by the government or by the corporate world, it is a trap. Not because there are no conspiracies going on. There are, obviously. Some of them are so obvious that you ask yourself how the public cannot be aware that it's going on. Some of those conspiracies are so into your face. But this whole thing of conspiracy theories is a trap. Let me tell you why it is a trap. It's not a trap because people come to look weird at you when you mention them. Because people mention all kinds of weird stuff. Okay, some people believe that we are from aliens or whatever, and people don't cast them out of the community and all of that. Just think about what I'm about to say here. If there is danger somewhere, which danger will affect you most? The danger close to you, or the danger somewhere in Washington, D.C., or somewhere in Rome? Which one is more relevant to you? The one in Rome, the one in Washington, D.C., or the one close to you? The one close to you, right? So, who are the ones close to you? Relatives, friends, colleagues, people that live in your neighborhood, in the same town or same city. So, if you should be aware of any type of conspiracy that's relevant to you, shouldn't you be aware of the conspiracies close to you that may affect you or may have an effect to cause you harm? I'm not saying that the conspiracies that happen in Rome nor Washington, D.C. have any effect on you. They may have an effect on you, but by focusing too much on those conspiracies, you lose sight of what's going on around you. I mean, think about it. When Christ walked the earth, who plotted to kill him? Was it Caesar in Rome? Were it the pagan priest class of Egypt? No, it were his own people, the Israelites, that did not want to recognize him as their king, because they had other expectations of the Messiah. And those people used Rome eventually to get rid of Christ. But it was not Rome himself, or Rome itself, that came after Christ. It were the servants of Rome, which were Israelites, that used Rome to go after Christ. So, which conspiracy was more relevant to Christ? The conspiracies that happened in Rome with Caesar and the Roman Senate, or the conspiracies that were happening in Jerusalem, close to him? You get what I'm saying here? Now, I'm not saying that it's completely useless to be aware that we live in a world of deception. You should be aware of that. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't lose sight of what's around you. I'm telling you, some people are so lost in the conspiracy theories that they don't realize that some people around them are plotting against them. And that's the trap of the enemy, to make you vulnerable so that he can take you out anytime. Look, I'm not telling you to be naive and to don't be alert of anything that's going on in the world, but don't focus too much on the big things. Focus on things around you. Look, let me give an illustration here. You have a guy called Bob. Bob was an entrepreneur. He was, he finished technical university, so he designed houses. So he's an architect. And he's being paid well. Here's the thing. When Bob was in college, he had to work 2 jobs besides college. Or besides university. Why? Because none of his friends or relatives had any interest in supporting him. Not even by loaning money to him. and the bank didn't even trust him. And here's the thing, after he graduated, after 2 years, he got a job. The job didn't pay well, so he became an entrepreneur, and now he's successful. One day, Bob ends up in the hospital, though with some fever. But the news was brought out that Bob was about to die. This was not true. The hospital never said this, but this rumor was spread around. Suddenly, arrangements were made. Bob was out of the hospital already. But then Bob heard that people had prepared his funeral. And he was shocked. He was thinking, how can people prepare my funeral while I was never in a life-threatening situation? Who told them this? But then Bob decided to play it smart. He pretended to be someone working for the cemetery, and he used a voice-altering machine to alter his voice, and he called some of his relatives. And man, his relatives were not aware it was him talking to them because it was a voice-altering software. And here's the thing, his relatives were so sad and so empathic that Bob died because they were telling all kinds of good stories about him. And Bob was thinking in his mind, what? How can all of you have so many loving and kind stories of me? Most of the stories never even happened. You guys have treated me cold and harsh, and you were uninterested most of my life, and suddenly I die, and now you want to have a good reputation by arranging my funeral and benefiting from my death? Bob realized what was going on, so Bob stopped with it. And what happened? Bob moved away. He moved away to another place. Nobody knew where he was. And people thought he died. He let them believe he was dead. He didn't even bother to correct the message. He found out who those people around him really were. He kind of had an idea already, but now he saw how far they were willing to go to preserve their self-validation. Now, Bob was not a dummy. He knew about conspiracies when it comes to the underworld, or what they call the Illuminati and all of that. He knew all of that. He knew about hidden symbolism. He knew about desensitization programs through the media. He knew all of it. He was interested in knowing what was going on in the world, to understand he was living in a world of deception, but he never felt threatened by all those conspiracies. Because he realized, hold on a minute, if so many conspiracies are going on, why is it that the masses are enabling it? Because those conspiracies can only occur because the masses enable it. So he began to ask, why are the masses enabling it? So that's why he was more interested in why people were allowing this to happen. Why were they complying with a system that they knew was corrupt? And eventually, Bob realized it was because people themselves were corrupt. But they didn't want to admit they are corrupt. They want to validate themselves as if they are good people. And they would do that at the expense of their own. And Bob realized that that is what they were doing with him. Making him the scapegoat so that they won't have to face themselves. Bob was wise. Bob was alert. I'm telling you, be like this Bob. Okay? Be like him. And here's the thing, this Bob was not even a believer. Yet he was practical. He was wise. Now, wise as far as he can be. But understand this. This man, this Bob, did not fall for the trick of conspiracy theories. And the same thing I'm telling you when it comes to church. Do not be distracted by things of the end times and when the rapture will come or not. Don't be distracted by all of that. Walk by faith now. Pay attention now. I'm telling you, some of you are the target of conspiracies that you don't even know exist. Conspiracies of relatives, of so-called friends that they don't want to see you succeed. They will be kind towards you and all of that, but they don't want you to outgrow them. They don't want you to grow at all. So they are kind to you just to keep you around so that you're open to help them, so they can benefit from you. Now that's a conspiracy. So why would you bother with what the so-called Illuminati members are doing in Washington, D.C. or in Rome, while you have people close to you, with access to you, conspiring against you? I mean, yes, what's happening in Washington, D.C. and Rome is relevant, but what's more relevant to you is what's happening close to you. You should be free from what's happening close to you, and not be worried about what's done onto the masses. Okay, what's onto the masses is bad. On the other hand, why are the masses tolerating it? You get what I'm saying here? Are more willing to put money together to bury you than that they put money together to get you free. They rather arrange your funeral than to arrange your breakthrough. I'm not saying that all people like this, but you have a lot of folks like this. See them for what they are. And some people have such people around them, but they don't want to see it. They don't want to open their eyes. Well, such people are in denial. Watch out for them. Because such people don't want to let go. They don't want to let go of the people that are bad for them. They just want to be relieved. So when you sincerely tell them the truth, or maybe don't tell them the truth, maybe you support them sincerely, what's going to happen? They hold on to those that don't want them to grow. So when they realize that you are the only one truly supporting them, instead of embracing you and throwing away those that really don't support them because they don't want to let go, they'll turn on you, they'll turn things around and blame you, cut you off, and they will even lie about you just to make others support them, so-called support them. I'm telling you, see people for what they are. That's it for now. Agree with Christ and be at peace.